First up, though, concerns that some urban areas of the county, they're missing out when it comes to accessing super fast broadband. I know this is actually, it's been an ongoing issue in many parts of the county. Well, the MP for Cheltenham now says a number of estates in the area are black holes, with residents either having a very poor or, at worst, unusable service. It comes as earlier this year, Fastershire, a group which includes the county council, the government and BT, promised to provide 90% of the homes and businesses in this county with fibre broadband. Now, Clark Lawson has set up a group called Cheltenham 151 to try and get broadband speeds improved. This is in the Hatherley area.
Our speed does fluctuate from day to day, but on average I probably would say we get about 1.5 megabits a second. When we first moved in, it was probably 1.9, which was kind of borderline to the 2 megabits a second that that the government say should be the minimum. Due to the quality of the line, the connection does try to make a stable connection, so it's dropped the line speed down to about 1.4, about 1.5. I think that's about the same for all residents in this area. We would like to see the fibre optic super fast broadband being brought into this area, so that means BT investing in the local cabinet to bring fibre optic cables to the cabinet, so that we're able to get speeds up to 78 megabits a second, which would be absolutely fantastic. So that's what we're trying to do, is show that there's sufficient demand.
That's Clark Lawson there from the Cheltenham group, Cheltenham 151. But what does it all mean, megabits and fibre optic and bandwidth and broadband? The Churchdown IT expert, this is Dominic Hopton, has been explaining to me just more about how it all actually works.
The superfast broadband, generally speaking, is what comes through fibre optic cable. That is a newer technology rather than coming down a copper phone line. So a fibre optic cable, you get very little signal loss down the cable, so it means you can have it over longer distances, and you still get a good quality connection over a longer distance. And that's one of the main things. People who are in rural areas more now suffer from being further away from the exchange.
OK, so why then do some areas struggle to get decent broadband?
It is exactly that. It is literally the length of cable between the local exchange and the person's phone, the actual person's phone in the house. And the longer that cable, it's a bit like, if you shout down from one end of the street to the other. If you're closer together, you can have a conversation like you and I are having now. But if we're 50, 100 yards apart, we have to shout and, what, pardon? And you get loads of errors on the line. And it just means a poorer connection, basically. It's just a longer length of cable. OK.
So is there anything then that anybody can do to get better broadband? There isn't, is there?
Not necessarily, no. If you can't get the fibre, then you are pretty much stuck with copper-based BT phone lines, if you like. And that is, in essence, an older technology now. But obviously, if you can get the fibre broadband, then great. It's definitely worth the extra money to go for that. It gives you more consistent, more reliable connection, and obviously it's a newer technology as well.
So why then, you talked about the exchange box where this fibre's coming from, why then do we not have more of those boxes around so we don't have to use longer wires?
I think that's just down to, one, cost, and two, I think BT, to be honest, they are rolling out a lot of the fibre broadband, as are Virgin, to more places and more rural areas as well. It depends really who wants it, because they won't just put it into, say, a village where there's only going to be, say, 2 or 3% uptake on it. They want 50, 60, 70% uptake on it for it to be viable for their companies to actually put the cable in. So it's down to supply and demand, basically, as well. But it also is, the main reason is cost. If they're not going to put it into, say, 4 or 5 households and not make any money back on it, it's just what it boils down to, basically.
So do you think broadband should actually be something that people take into consideration when they're thinking about moving?
Well, I did, and I have, and I do, because I know when I looked at a place about 2 years ago when I was moving house, I looked at a place up in Cooper's Edge on my new development up there, and it was one of the key things for me was a broadband connection speed, a good, reliable, fast broadband connection speed, and for some reason I just couldn't get it up there, and I did quiz, the telecommunications companies about it, and they were sort of pretty they weren't interested, to be honest. It was a bit shocking, really.
Especially for a development that size.
Yeah, because it is a big development and there's potentially a lot of customers there. And of course they can put the fibre down before even the road's put in properly, you know, so you're not disrupting anybody, really.
Do you think we will get better coverage as the years go on? Technology is obviously getting bigger. It's as big now as it ever has been. Is there very little place now for telecoms to hide when it comes to having to spend money to help us out here?
I think people power does come into it. I mean, you know, people shout loud enough, they'll get what they want. In essence, the big companies don't want the bad publicity. You know, they want to be seen as the good boys in all this. But obviously, logistically, from their point of view, it's not an easy task to fully fibre up the whole country, if you like. It's not an easy task, and it's not a quick task, I dare say. I mean, it's not something I've done myself, but I mean, you know, I can imagine it's very difficult to do.
That's Dominic Hopton there, IT expert, just explaining it all. Do you know, it's frustrating, a little bit annoying as well that we couldn't put all of these questions to Openreach, the BT Group network company. They didn't have anybody available to come onto the programme live today. They did send us this statement.
Openreach has invested £2.5 billion to bring high-speed fibre broadband to 2/3 of the UK's homes and businesses, including many parts of Gloucestershire. Hundreds of different communications companies use the Openreach network to provide phone and broadband services, and the number of service providers using it to provide high-speed fibre broadband is also growing all the time, with currently more than 140 providers operating around the UK. Other network providers operate in Gloucestershire too. Areas of Gloucestershire that are not currently covered by any commercial fibre rollout may be eligible for public funding.
It's the statement there from BT Openreach. Meanwhile, spokesperson for Fastershire said once their programme is complete, it'll help boost the competitiveness of local businesses and also help them operate more efficiently, while also opening up new learning and development opportunities for households.